Hello, Internet. Hello, Henry. Hello, world. This is After Campfire. My name's Sam Rubenstein. It is Tuesday. I'm playing with my camera because it's fun. I don't know why, but this is how I want my day to start. So you're gonna have to deal with that. All right. So let's talk about things. One, it's funny that Henry brought up like, oh, you're gonna ask for physical copies when you don't, when like I'm not home. Henry, I'm not home. I'm never home anymore. I don't do that. I instead am at work. I got promotion question mark. Essentially, I got asked to help with the facilitation of the advising for the fall and spring semesters. So that's about 3 months of work, and it's a kind of weird transitional thing where they're like, we're gonna give you this extra work. Obviously, I'm getting paid for the extra work. Like that's fair, but like it's cool. And then I also start working as a professor in like 3 weeks, which is also cool. I'm very excited about that. So, with all of that, I'm not home. I'm never home. I'm always working because I'm trying to quote get this bread, um, which is cool, I guess. Um, so I'm gonna use the things I have in my office though to try to show and create a concept of what I would be doing in a museum about me. Um, so, uh, yeah. Additionally, when it comes to this promotion, because people keep asking, like, well, what's the plan? Well, I would love to work and get money, but I also would love to never have to work again. My dream is to be able to make art for a living and not have to have a job. But that's hard. So until that dream comes true, I will continue to try. Now, the thing is, I'm working really hard on a bunch of art projects on the side, that aren't this. So, like, maybe. But regardless, so I asked Henry to make a museum about him. And he talked about camp, and he talked about card games, he talked about trapeze, and he talked about snowboarding, he talked about his friends and all these things. Like, those are all fair. Like, realistically, if I were to have a museum about me, there's a few very specific, like, key points in my life that would be, like, in there. Like, I don't think I have any FFA stuff, but, like, FFA was a major chunk of my life for all of high school and like half of college. So like that would probably be in there. Um Hank. Hank would be there. This little man, look at that smile. He would be in there. Um Probably like more recently stuff about Sydney would be in there. Look at that little Sydney man. Look at that smile. I'm gonna do this multiple times. But like, I would probably have Sydney in there. I'd probably have a section like Henry dedicated to camp and to like Henry and stuff. I don't have a picture of you, Henry. I can't hold you up and go look at the little man. Sorry. But like, what I do have is I have a lot of like knickknacks in my office. So like, I would probably have notebooks and pens and books of mine, like notebook fill because I fill them with writing all the time. What else? I would also probably um, have like a whole section to poetry and to Edgar Allan Poe because I have not one but two Poes in my office, and I got a bunch more at home. Like look at these, look at these little men. Um, I probably have like I would probably I would have some hockey stuff like my Henrik Lundqvist because again I've been playing since I was little. You know, um, I don't have any like yeah. I would have like multiple sections, like a section for camp, a section for like there would probably be like some weird like ADHD section in there. Um, I would probably have like fidget toys and things that might. By the way, for those wondering, my current fidget toy um, is a barrel of monkeys. This is what's getting me through work right now. Um, Fine, I have to do this because I didn't like I can't not do. Look at this little man. I'm gonna just keep doing this for everything. I would probably have like a section for like that because I think that's something that's important that you'd learn about me. Um, ADHD stuff would be there. Like mental health stuff in general. I think it would go like in a chronological order. Like my entire thing would go chronologically. And those would have like sections, so like it would be pretty nifty. Um, Trying to think what else major. That would obviously be like you know stuff about like college in there. Like films and stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I would have this massive, massive museum filled with nonsense of my life, and I'm super in favor of that. I would highlight like all my friends and family and like all the important things. Like here's in this picture we see Sam Rubenstein walking down the street to a Wawa with Henry Greenhut and Jason Katz. So that's my answer to my own question. Um, uh, my next question was Henry's question, which is supposed to be like name a time you failed, but like specifically like a sporting event or competition, and like here's the thing. You brought up hockey, and hockey is one of the things that I am like the least competitive about, even though I play in leagues, I think. Because for me, I just want to have a good time. It's always been that way. I've never been competitive at hockey, which is why my parents stopped. Like they're like, if you're not gonna take this seriously, don't waste our time. I was like, okay, I won't. So like I stopped playing competitive hockey when I was a kid because I would go and I'd just kind of like be chilling, like having a good time, and like I would be terrible. My parents would be like, "Are you not taking this seriously?" I'd be like, "Yeah, not really." Because I like it, but I don't want to like. I like hockey because I like the fun of hockey. I don't care so much about the winning. Winning is great, by the way. I love winning, but like I'm the goalie that you see in net on the other end of the ice that like is just fully dancing during the in between whistles and like just kind of having a good time. Um, so yeah, so that's what I learned from hockey. If we're talking about things like I'm more competitive about, I'm more competitive with myself than like others. So like, trying to think, like, uh, okay, I have a story for you, and I don't know if there's anything I learned from this. I mean, there is. I can okay. Let's clarify. There is, and I'll explain. So when I was younger, late like during high school I found out about this, and then late high school I started doing this, and then early college I was doing this. Poetry slams. I used to do slam poetry. I learned about it through forensics, public speech and debate in high school, and like I loved it. I thought it was really cool, and so I started competing. And what I learned uh, relatively early on was I wasn't good at it. Um, which is weird because I love poetry and I love public speaking and I love performing my poetry. Um, but I wasn't doing well in slams. Like I would do fine, I would get like to like the second or third round, but I would never get to the finals, and I would never win any awards, and I was constantly losing, and it was annoying. And I remember my last slam ever was at something called AWP, which is the Conference for Association. It's the what is it? Association of uh, of writers and publishers, but there's like a much longer name than that. Um, and it was this huge conference, and I get to go up on stage in front of I think it was like 300 people. Like it was a large crowd, maybe like 150, maybe 200, probably. 300 might be an exaggeration. And I remember very distinctly doing my first round, and going, these judges are tough today. Because like I didn't do well, but neither did the person before me, or the person before them, or the person before. So the first four of us like sucked. Like we didn't do well. And like none of our poems were very serious. Like I did a very lighthearted poem about like why you shouldn't write about love. And it was stupid. And it was a love poem, but like it was stupid. Um but it wasn't bad. Like it was objectively not a bad poem. And then the poet after me got up and did a poem about sexism. I was like, okay, that's fine, like whatever. But suddenly they were getting like nines and tens, and I was like, oh, I guess their poem was really good. Like I didn't think it was that good, but then the poet after them did a poem about Islamophobia. And I was like, oh, okay. They got nines and tens. And it just continued like this poem's about mental illness. And I was like, you don't understand my pain, Mom. I was like, that's not a poem. You're just complaining about your mom. Nines and tens. And so it got to a point where it was like mathematically eliminated, and I was really fucking mad. Excuse my man. I was really angry, like really angry, because by this point, the people who had like eliminated us were not giving good poems, but were clearly pandering to the judges. And I, in all of this, never thought about the judges. I thought about the poems that I wanted to perform. And in that moment, I realized, oh, if I want to do well at this, I have to pander to the judge. I have to cater to the judge. I don't want to cater to a judge. I want to make art and perform it and be the best at performing it. Um, and since I was mathematically eliminated, I looked at my friend. I said, "Call me when it's 3 minutes, because that's the amount of time that I can go over. I can't go any higher than that." And I get up there for my second round, which is going to be my last one, because I am again mathematically eliminated. And I do, off the top of my head, a rant complaining about slam poetry and how it's pandering to the judges and to the audience. And I believe the line that I used in there was, I want to write about the important things. I want to talk about the sexism, the classism, the racism, the ageism, and all the kind of isms that make you feel like you're really important when you talk about this stuff. I want to say all these things while I could sound smart, without sounding like any of you pretentious hipster fucks. And I like that was essentially my quitting of slam right then and there on stage in front of people, one of the largest crowds I had at the time. And I finished it, and I remember being really just mad about it. And then my anger was like fueled when the judges gave me my scores, and I got like eights, nines, and tens, and I was like, "Excuse me, you're not supposed to like this." I was like, and so I I remember because it wasn't a good like yeah, it was a rant. I didn't write a poem. I ranted. But I sounded like this, which is how I talked. So you knew that I was speaking like an artist. Like I was fully just committing to the bit. And I lost, and I remember leaving and going, "All right, we're done." And I went out and I got drunk at a party, and I complained for like the rest of the night. But I was so mad that like the curtain had been pulled away, and I realized like this is not what I want. Um, and what I ended up doing from that and gaining that knowledge is learning more about what I wanted to do with my poetry, which ended up becoming this performance art. which Henry, I remember you've seen like the original show, but like has gone on to take me to do a lot of really cool things and a lot of really cool shows and a lot of really cool performances in a lot of really cool places. Like I've performed in Boston, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Israel, DC, um, trying to think where else. Philly, which is in Pennsylvania, but also Philly, because I also performed in like Allentown and Bethlehem, like all over Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and like I'm trying to get more shows in like I want to do a show in Ohio because I have friends out there that I would love to do shows at, but like like found a niche for myself, and so the moral, because you asked what did I learn from this failure, I learned that your skill has a purpose. Whatever it is you're working on has a purpose. You just need to find it. And it may not be where you think it is. It may be somewhere else in some other format, and that's totally okay. So yeah, that's what I learned from cursing an entire audience and then quitting slam poetry on stage. Um, I've done two slams since then, and I do them with no care whether or not I win or not. And it has led to some very ridiculous, funny moments. Um, but I've yet to win a slam ever. I don't think I'm ever going to try to win a slam, to be honest. But I am going to enjoy performing for AF. So yeah, so that was my answer to Henry's question. This is a almost 17, almost 18, because it's about to hit 17 minute after Campfire. And I'm going to ask Henry a solid question. Henry, so you're coming to the East Coast, and in the chats, I haven't been very active, especially because of this new promotion. I'm at work. My brain is at work. I am not a functioning person right now. Um, but my question to you, Mr. Green Hut, is what is your favorite time to come to the East Coast? You've come in the winter, you've come in the fall, you've come in the spring, you are here at all times. What is your favorite time to go east? And I will answer that question by like similar, like what's my favorite time of year? But I want to know like specifically for you, what's your favorite time to come out here? Why not? Tell me about it. And give examples because it makes me smile when you do. All right. Goodbye.